Hey everyone, and a very warm welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful metaphors you'll ever find. It comes from a passage that asks a really deep question. Once a society has all its laws and social rules set up, what's the actual engine that powers it? What's the core reactor of a moral civilization? So let's jump right in. All right, so for a little context, we're in Surah An-Nur, which literally means the light. Now, this chapter has already laid down a bunch of laws, it's talked about social crises, and it's set up clear boundaries. It's basically built the entire house, you could say. But after all of that construction, there's this big question just kind of hanging in the air. And that, right there, is the huge question we're tackling today. You've got all the external stuff, the etiquette, the laws, the whole framework. But what makes it all come alive from the inside? What stops a civilization from just being an empty, hollow structure with no soul? And the answer the text gives is, well, it's just stunning in its simplicity. The answer is light. And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about light bulbs or some vague good vibes. The text is very specific. This light is a metaphor for guidance, like a divine compass for all of humanity. This brings us to one of the most famous and honestly breathtaking verses in the entire Quran, the light verse, or Ayat al-Nur. And this isn't just pretty language, it's precision poetry. It's designed to be unpacked piece by piece. It's like an instruction manual for building a guidance system right inside of you. So it starts by establishing God as the ultimate source of everything, the light of all existence. And right away, to help us grasp this massive idea, it gives us something we can actually picture. It says, imagine a niche, kind of like a recess carved into a wall, and inside that niche, there's a lamp. Okay, so let's break this metaphor down piece by piece. The first part is that niche, the mishkat. What does it represent? It's the human heart, but not just any heart. It's a heart that's been protected, it's been prepared, and it's ready to receive guidance. Think of it as the perfect container, ready and waiting. Now, sitting inside that prepared heart, that niche, is the lamp, the misbah. And this is where it gets really interesting. The source of the light itself isn't just one single thing. It's this powerful combination of divine revelation coming from the outside, our own human consciousness on the inside, and the faith that's born from that connection. That's the flame. So you've got this flame of faith. What protects it? Well, it's enclosed in glass, or zujaja. This glass is our intellect, our reason, and its job is twofold. One, to protect the flame, and two, and this is absolutely crucial, to be so crystal clear and pure that it doesn't distort the light at all. It just clarifies it and lets it shine even brighter. So where does the fuel for this amazing lamp come from? The parable tells us it's from a blessed olive tree. And get this, it's a tree that is neither of the east nor of the west, which is a beautiful way of saying that its truth is universal. It doesn't belong to one culture or one place. And the oil from this tree is so pure it's described as almost glowing on its own. This oil is our fitra, that part of our soul that's already wired for truth, And all of these pieces, the heart, the faith, the intellect, the fuel, they all come together in this one breathtaking phrase, light upon light, nurun ala nur. This isn't just about one source of guidance. It's a compounding, stacking, and scaling system. So how exactly do these lights build on each other? Light upon light, then, is this incredible synergy of three things working in perfect harmony. You have the external light of revelation, you have the internal light of your own reason to understand and process it, and you have the innate light of your soul's fitra that's already reaching for it. When all three of those click together, wow, that's when guidance it becomes exponential. Okay, so we've just built this incredible engine of light inside a person. The parable has given us the internal model. But where does it live? The text immediately pivots from the internal world to the external. What kind of environment does this light need to actually survive and, more than that, to thrive? And that brings us to a really powerful idea in the very next verse. Guidance needs a home. It needs infrastructure. Because light is fragile. It might flicker for a moment in chaos, sure, but for it to become a steady, strong flame, it needs an ordered, intentional structure around it. So what are these houses that the verse mentions? Well, yeah, of course, it means mosques, but the meaning is so much bigger than that. It's our homes when God is remembered in them. It's really any space, physical or even mental, that's built around remembrance and purpose, instead of just constant noise and distraction. It's any place we choose to honor and raise in purpose. So if those are the spaces, what about the people who live in them? The text then goes on to paint a portrait of the kind of person who carries this light, the kind of person who builds and maintains these houses of light. Now, it's really easy to misunderstand this next part. The verse talks about people who are not distracted by trade or sale. This is not some call to be anti-business or against working hard, not at all. The point is much more subtle. It's not about rejecting the world, it's about not letting the world's endless distractions own your soul. It's anti-distraction, not anti-engagement. The quality being described here is something we could call priority discipline. It's the incredible ability to be fully engaged in life, to work, to build, to run a business, but to do all of it with an internal compass that is always pointed towards a higher purpose, a higher accountability. Their identity, their very soul, isn't for sale. So let's recap. We have the internal light, we have the external structures to protect it, and we have the kind of people who live by it. The final piece of this amazing puzzle is the outcome. So what's the payoff? What's the return on investment for cultivating all this light? And the text is super clear about this. This isn't just about feeling good or having some moral clarity. Nope. There is a tangible, divine return on this spiritual investment. Living a life guided by this light comes with a profound and very specific reward. And the way the reward works is just fascinating. Okay, get this. First, it says they'll be rewarded based on the absolute best of what they did. Think about that. Not their average day, not their worst day, but their peak performance. That's an incredibly merciful way to be judged. And then, as if that wasn't enough, on top of that, God adds an increase from his own bounty, something extra, unearned, and without measure. This increase beyond measure is the very essence of a concept called barakah. It's basically a blessing that creates a disproportionate return. It's that magic that happens when your small, sincere efforts somehow produce huge, unexpected results. So the ROI of light isn't just a good feeling. It's a tangible blessing that actually amplifies your work in the world. So let's bring this all home. The big, overarching takeaway from this incredible parable is that guidance isn't some random lightning strike from the sky. It's a process. It has to be cultivated. All those laws and rules we mentioned at the very beginning, they weren't just random rules. They were preparing the ground, building the walls, and sealing the cracks so that the house would be ready for the light. And this really is the blunt and beautiful truth at the heart of it all. Light doesn't just wander into chaos. It seeks out and it lives within order. The internal order of a heart balanced with faith and reason, and the external order of a life and an environment that is intentionally built around purpose. Which, of course, leaves us with a pretty urgent question for our own lives, doesn't it? In a world that is practically defined by constant noise, by endless distraction, by a million things pulling for our attention, how do we, consciously and deliberately, carve out a space, both inside ourselves and in the world around us, for that light to actually find a home?